Good morning, everyone. As you can see, our crew is hard at work building our sukkah, which begins on Wednesday night. And I actually saw a beautiful picture of a sukkah in Gaza, the first sukkah built in Gaza since Jews were expelled from Gaza in 2005. And one of the famous questions is, why does Sukkot follow the holiday of Yom Kippur? After all, Yom Kippur is the holiest day, and Sukkot is the holiday that commemorates the wandering of the Jews for 40 years in the desert. But the Jews entered into the desert after Passover. So Sukkot should naturally follow the holiday of Passover. We left Egypt, now we wander in the desert, and God protected us with his clouds of glory. Why are we doing it at this time of the year? And there are many answers, but one answer is as follows. You see, the difference between a sukkah and a home is that a sukkah is not secure. A sukkah is vulnerable. It's exposed to the elements, to the wind, to the rain. It has a weak, flimsy hut of walls for protection. While a home feels secure, you have locks and doors. But on the other hand, going into the sukkah, while it makes you vulnerable and takes you out of your comfort zone, it allows you to look up through the schach and see the heavens above. And this idea is that it is only when we leave our comfort zone and make ourselves vulnerable that we can look up and see our true potential and reach our greatest heights. Sometimes when we're too boxed in or locked in to our secure comfort zones, we don't look up to see how high we can reach. And so after Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year, when we spent an entire day, 24 hours, in reflection and meditation and prayer, making resolutions to be better, the first step after Yom Kippur is go out of your home, step out of the box, as they say. Go out of your comfort zone. Yeah, make yourself vulnerable, take risks, but look up to the heavens. Don't just look up to the ceiling of your home. Look up to the sky above and see the stars and recognize that there's a part of God inside of you, and therefore as God is infinite, you and your potential is infinite. And therefore make sure that you take the spiritual energy and the holiness of Yom Kippur and transform it into a year of growth. And that's why the elements that we take on Sukkot, the 4 species, are all things that grow from the ground. And the same thing is with the schach. The rule is the schach has to be things that grow naturally. And the message is that just like everything in this world, in the world of botany, is always growing and blossoming, so too human beings should never be static and content, but always be growing and developing and flourishing and bearing more and more fruit, like the etrog or the date palm branch. There's an amazing story about this fellow who was a kid in high school, and he was always getting into trouble, hanging out with the wrong crowd, never really being too studious. When he came to 11th grade, he went to take his SATs. And lo and behold, he gets a 1480 out of 1600, which is a very good score. Everyone was shocked. His mother's first reaction was, "Did you cheat?" And he said, "No." Suddenly he realized how bright he is and how capable he is. And so he started to apply himself to his studies and do his homework and excel in class. And suddenly his teacher started to relate to him differently. And he transformed himself into one of the best students. He went on to university, and then he went on to an Ivy League college and became a very successful person in life. He got married, started a family. 13 years later, he's at home with his family, and he gets a letter from Princeton, New Jersey, and he sees it's from the SAT board scores, and he opens it up, and they tell him, "We're sorry to inform you, but we now recognize that we made a mistake, and 13 students got the wrong SAT scores, and your actual score was not 1480, but it was 740, almost half of his original score." Now you ask yourself, did anything change in this student before he got the score and after he got the score? He was the same person with the same intelligence and the same skills and potential, but his perception of his potential of his own abilities changed, his attitude changed, and therefore his behavior changed, and therefore his life went on a completely different trajectory than it would have gone. And that's what we have to ask ourselves. Yom Kippur, we looked into ourselves and said, what is my potential? What could I really be? Am I living my best version of myself? And Sukkot is when we step outside, look up to the heavens above, and we say, yes, it's a little uncomfortable stepping out of our secure environment. It's a little uncomfortable feeling vulnerable, taking new risks, trying to succeed at new things that we've never tried before. But if we get past that discomfort, we could look up and see the stars in heaven shining down upon us. New light and greatness will imbue each and every one of us. Let's take the Sukkah's challenge now that we completed Yom Kippur successfully. Have a wonderful day.